Hello everyone, and welcome back to Epic Randomness. My name is Branson, and today I'm doing something a little different. I'm going to be reviewing the new 1D&D, or 5e I guess now, playtest that was released today, specifically for the Fighter. The Fighter's my favorite class in Dungeons & Dragons, fight me, and they've been given special focus with the new feature for weapons that was also introduced in this playtest, Weapon Mastery. So let's take a look. First, I love the design notes that they added for this play test. Thank you, design team. So I'll just go through the list and list off everything that's new. Persuasion has been added to the class list of skills with an eye on the fantasy archetype of the persuasive warrior who leads others. Love that. Always like persuasion, one of the best skills in the game, and I like to strength, charisma. That's the two I like to have. Second wind can now be used more than once between long rests without requiring a short rest. That is great. So that means now that at first level, you can use second wind twice instead of just once. So that's immediately good. Weapon Mastery is a new first level feature, giving you a new way to use weapons. I'll actually go and read that now here. Weapon Mastery. Your training with weapons allows you to use the mastery property of 3 kinds of simple or martial weapons of your choice. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can practice weapon drills and change the kinds of weapon you chose. When you reach certain fighter levels, you gain the ability to use the mastery property of more kinds of weapons, as shown on the Weapon Mastery column of the fighter table. Now this is great. I'll read off some of the weapon masteries you have here. Let's see, at the top here. We have Cleave, which essentially, we make a melee attack, and there's another creature 5 feet right next to it. You can make a weapon attack for it, and you can deal damage next to it without adding the ability modifier. Flex, this one I'll probably use a lot because sword guy, long sword, because it requires a versatility property, and basically it allows you to use long sword with one hand and still do the D10 instead of the usual D8. Which is great, because if you want to use a shield at the same time, then you don't have to give up damage, which is amazing. Graze, if you miss, you still do some damage. Nick, which is the replacement for the light property damage, or the 2-weapon fighting, because they did it before where you could just do it as part of the attack instead of using your bonus action, but now it's back to the bonus action, but you use Nick to do it the way it was before, the way they had it in the Unearthed Arcana before. So that's pretty good. I imagine most characters that would need it can use it, so that should be fine. Push is very fun. Push it back 10 feet. I very much want to push someone off a cliff. Sap, impose disadvantage on its next attack roll. It's alright. Slow, very nice, especially when it comes to a chase. Haven't heard anyone talk about this now. Chases have always been a weird thing where you just kind of have to keep using your action, either your action to dash or, be slower and try to do something else. Well, with this, you can make an attack roll, especially if you have like a bow, because lots of, like pretty much all of them are, all of the weapons that have the slow property are ranged weapons. You can just shoot and they go slower and you can catch up to them slowly. Topple, make them fall over, is great and doesn't require them to be on the ground, so flipping Griffin or Dragon just Vex, which I thought might be like the goading attack that the Battlemaster has, but it's not, which makes it's a little more sense. It just gives you advantage on the next attack roll. It's alright. It's good. So basically, back to the fighter, you can now any 3 weapons that you have you can choose to just be better, just have the weapon masteries on them all the time, because it doesn't require any bonus action or action beforehand. You just do it. Missed. Oh, there we go. Alright, Action Surge is now limited to certain fighter-themed actions. Now this, yes, so if I look down here, Action Surge, on your turn you can take one additional action, choosing from the following action options: attack, dash, disengage, or dodge. Before, it just gave you just straight action. So technically, you could take a two-level dip as a spellcaster and use Action Surge to cast a spell twice. So this is probably to avoid that. Something that's been scratched my brain with this change is for things like Ballista or other multi-action machinery, because I've always thought it'd be really cool if after a catapult or something was loaded, you can immediately aim and fire in one turn, because usually it's one action to load, one action to aim, one action to fire. And with the Action Surge, you just like do it. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if those rules lie for this. I'd say that your DM can says you can, that she would be fine. I mean, I would. I don't think it makes too much of a difference. Then we have Weapon Expert is a new 7th level feature. Look at that. You've honed your use of weapons to an art. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can choose one of the kinds of mastery weapons you're using and replace its mastery property with another mastery property. This chosen kind of weapon must qualify for the new property. For example, you could replace the longsword's flex with the push property. That's actually something I would like to do, because the flex is cool, but the push is also cool. It really feels how close you are to cliffs. Probably. This property change applies only for you, not for others, and the change ends when you finish your next long rest. Okay. So that's fun. Indomitable now gives you a bonus to reroll equal to your fighter level. Before, and it's funny, I literally saw a video from the Monkey DM about this the other day, how it's only so good because if you're making a roll for something, unless you have a really good modifier for it, it's never gonna go above like 23, and if you need to do better than that, it's just not gonna work. But now with Indomitable, when you re-roll, you also add your fighter level to it, and you get this at 9th level, so that's automatically a +9. That's awesome. Weapon Adept is a new 13th level feature. You are a master of weapons. When you use your Weapon Expert feature on a kind of weapon, you can give what kind of weapon you can give that kind of weapon 2 properties rather than 1. But when you use only 1 property at a time. Whenever you make an attack roll against a target with that kind of weapon, you decide which of the 2 properties applies to that attack. You make the decision before the attack hits or misses. So this is, for example, if I have my longsword, I can have both push and flex on it, which I would definitely do. That sounds very fun. For example, you could apply push and topple properties to longswords. That's also would be cool. And whenever you hit the target with a longsword, you decide which of those properties you're using as a target. I've seen this. The words don't make a whole lot of sense. It says you have to decide before it hits or misses, but then it later says you decide when it hits. Game designer's gonna have to fix that. Jeremy Crawford, help. But otherwise, I think the intention is that it's supposed to be before it hits. Like before it hit, like you have to. I'm using a flex attack or a push attack. You like before you do it, not after, because I mean, the only one to be after is like graze, because that's the whole point, is if you miss. Improved Action Surge is moved from 17th level to 15th level. That's good. That's very good. Actually, what does Improved Action Surge do? Oh, you can use it twice before. Okay, so you just get it sooner. You just get the ability to Action Surge twice in a day sooner. That's amazing. Love Action Surge. Yeah, okay. Unconquerable is a new 17th level feature which incorporates extra use functionality formerly part of Indomitable. Okay. Unconquerable. When you're in great peril, you can tap into deep well of resilience within yourself. If you fail a saving throw and your Indomitable feature is expended, okay, you can use it again by expending a use of your second wind, which also heals you. Okay, so if you use your Indomitable feature for the day, like a few hours before, and now you're in a different fight, and you need some help, you can use one of your second wins, heal yourself, and reroll the saving throw. If I'm understanding that correctly. That's really cool. The fact that fighters can literally heal themselves, like, I know this is already an old thing, but that's cool, because that means you don't have to worry about them going down. I mean, paladins can heal themselves. Barbarians never need help. Rangers could technically heal themselves. Rogues would be the only ones out if they got hit really hard, but the whole idea is to not get hit, so less of a problem. But yeah, so there's that. 3 extra attacks moved from 20th level to 18th level. Yay. Epic boon. Okay, we all know these. Epic boons. Some good, some bad. It kind of depends. I quite like the teleporting one. Make an attack roll, teleport. That sounds fun. Alright, so that's all of them. Look over. Fighter subclass. Feature, feat, weapon expert. I heard something about 15th level. Supposed to, like, let me look here on the little fighter table. Says 15th level feat and improved action surge, but if I go down here to 14th, 15th, improved action surge, and that's it. So, and then it says feat at level 16. So, and it seems, yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I think the little fighter has a couple things wrong. I'm also going to include the champion subclass that came with this playtest, since it's, for some reason, my favorite fighter subclass. It's far up there, and I think they've given it a good little boost. Down here. Okay. Adaptable Victor is a new 3rd level feature giving the champion non-combat utility. Adaptable Victor. You've studied your friends and foes alike, and you've learned that victory relies on adaptability. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can gain proficiency in one skill from those available to this class at 1st level, as you remind yourself of past lessons. This proficiency lasts until the end of your next long rest. So essentially, while normally, if you're a regular fighter, you would have, I mean, in addition to background proficiencies, but you would normally have 2 fighter skills you're proficient in. Well, now you can just pretty much always have 3, because at the end of a long rest, you can just redo another one, and that's like all the time. So that is great. Shh. Remarkable Athlete, one of the lower-rated fighter features, has been replaced by Adaptable Victor and Heroic Warrior. I get why they removed Remarkable Athlete athlete, it used to give half your proficiency bonus to any physical stat check that you weren't already proficient with, and extended your jump. First, jumping hardly ever comes up, so it's not that big a deal. And the things they replaced with are arguably just better, so that's fine, because you can be proficient in one of those things now. And with, I'll skip forward to Heroic Warrior. Yes, Heroic Warrior. You give yourself heroic advantage. You just get advantage that you can use for later. So, when you normally would be able to, for those ability checks that you might have needed some help for, well, now you can just roll it with the heroic advantage, so it doesn't matter quite as much. Additional fighting style has moved from 10th level to 6th level. That's a 4-level jump back. That's fun. I always love that. Heroic Warrior Survivor has been enhanced. It also now benefits your death saving throws. So, let's see. Survivor. You attain the pinnacle of resilience in battle, giving you these benefits. Defy death, by the way. You have advantage on death saving throws. Moreover, when you roll an 18 to 20 on a death save, you gain the benefit of rolling a 20. So it's like you get the champion critting on a 19 to 18, but with saving throws. But also with Survivor is Heroic Rally. At the start of each of your turns, you regained hit points equal to 5 plus your Constitution modifier if you have no more than half your hit points. You don't gain this benefit if you have 10 hit points. Yeah, that's just a regen. As long as you have half hit points, you just get regeneration. That's really cool. And I just noticed something. Oh, superior critical. Okay, I was double checking for status. I wasn't there. 1820 crit. Got it. Okay, so that is the end of the fighter and the champion subclass. Overall, I really like what I'm seeing. The fighter was already really solid before. 3 attacks around is no joke. But of course, there's always been the thing with spellcasters having a lot more versatility and power, than martial classes. So really, if you wanted something similar, you'd be an Eldritch Knight for magic, or a Battle Master, which uses some tricks you can do during a fight. But now with Weapon Mastery, martial characters can have something fun they can do every single round. Some of them let you even use it with every attack. Some of them say you can only do it for the one attack. I think maybe that's only on your turn. We'll be able to check that real quick. Go up here. Cleave, only do once per turn. Flex, just do it all the time. Just every single attack you make is a D10 instead of a D8 if you're using one hand now. So it's awesome. Graze. Graze you can do anytime. And of course, you don't want to be missing that many times, but Nick, you can still make this extra attack only once per turn. Yeah, okay. Push. That's funny. So you can split up your moves. So that you like if you're close to your enemy, you can make the attack, push, move, push, and if you're at like 18th level, move, push again. Because I think you can move in between attacks. I think. I'm gonna assume so. Sap. You can do multiple times. I mean, you can't impose disadvantage more than once, but if you're attacking multiple creatures, then you could put disadvantage on a lot of them. Slow. Oh yeah, you still can't hit. Yes, if you hit the creature more than once with this property, the speed reduction doesn't exceed 10 feet. if you hit a creature... Oh, the reduction doesn't exceed 10 feet. But I think it's been pointed out that it could technically... multiple people could use the slow property on the same creature and slow it down like a whole bunch, which would be crazy. Topple... Okay, you get the point. I don't even know about that. But, so yeah, and it's not just fighters and barbarians getting it. Monks for sure are getting it. And I'm pretty sure rogues, paladins, and rangers, maybe, will get it. It'd be interesting if clerics did, because they have weapons quite a bit. Probably not. I think because they're mostly spellcasters, would make sense that like martial characters and half casters get it. So I don't think like bards would get it, even though they can use some like martial weapons. But fighters are still going to be the best at using it because they get all their features. They get brand new features that make them really good at using it. They literally took the fighter and pretty much just added more stuff to it without taking anything away besides a little bit from Axe and Scourge, which barely matters. Yeah. I know there's a lot of people that say the fighter is basic and boring, but I say it allows you to play just about any character you want and have them be functional in combat. I mean, don't know what to make a character? Make him a fighter. You take like any character from media that doesn't seem to fit into any particular thing, fighter. Just give them a few levels of fighter and they can function. And the weapon mastery features don't detract from that either, so that's great. I'm probably going to build a half Dragonborn using the species, the new species rules where you can make any of them be a half, so you can like choose the visuals. Because I don't like regular Dragonborn, but it would be like a human with dragon scales and all the same abilities. That'd be fun. And then combine it with fighter, because especially can use my Axe and Surge to, or not just extra attack to fire breath. So I'm probably gonna make that like a Dragonborn fighter after this. I'm very excited for these new rules. I know a lot of people are upset with the Warlock one, but that's for another time. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I'll catch you next time.